We're going. Ready? I'd like to call the special meeting of the Redevelopment Commission to order for Tuesday, June 11th at 6:02 p.m. Ms. Chilcott, in absence of our secretary, will you take the roll call, please?
Councilwoman Chandler Felton.
Present.
Councilwoman Hayes Edwards. Councilwoman Uzelak.
Here.
Councilwoman Hardaway. Councilman Pettit.
Here. 3 members, we have a quorum. There is not a consent agenda or any old business or new business, ladies. We have 4 general order resolutions. Our financial advisor, Bob Swentz from London Witty, is in the audience, along with Angie, to go through these. 2 are related to the Boys and Girls Club, and 2 are related to Andrean High School. First resolution is Resolution 2407. It's a resolution of the Town of Merrillville, Indiana Redevelopment Commission, pledging certain tax increment revenues for the payment of economic development revenue bonds of the Town of Merrillville and approving related matters thereto. This first one is for the Boys and Girls Club. Bob and Angie, do you have anything?
Unless they have any questions, we kind of had the workshops over these incentives and these resolutions regarding the steps, and we provided the timeline that Mr. Pittman provided. Mr. Swint's going to add.
Evening, Bob.
Hello.
Thank you for coming up.
Sure thing. So the pledge resolutions will be applied to bond issues that the town council as a whole will consider and the Economic Development Commission. And basically what this says is that the Redevelopment Commission will use tax increment revenues to make payments on those bonds over the 10-year period of time.
And to refresh your memory, ladies, this is the Boys and Girls Club is something that, Leona, we had started this a while back. Joe and the Boys and Girls Club attorney took a little bit of time to get the property sold. They own the 3 acres, the vacant land at the Dean and Barbara White Community Center. That's where they will build their club. We had always pledged $2 million over 10 years, so it's $200,000 a year off the top of the TIF draw. So when Michael and Eric go get the TIF, the tax draws from the county, and Bob, for the sake of argument, I believe it's in the vicinity of about 9.1 million. We get all of our allocation areas.
Yeah, we've specific.
Not at once, but that's the total for
In total
a
for
year.
the year. And we specifically are pledging the Broadway allocation area. So we would go to that TIF area first.
Right.
And there are sufficient excess TIF revenues.
So this will be 200,000. We've already done this, Leona, for the Merrillville School Corporation in the amount of 400,000 for 5 years, Angie, or 10? 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. But we'll more than likely, I would think, re-up
We'll
that.
review it in 5 years.
Yeah, because it's for their CTE, their construction technology program. It was for the truancy court, and it's for the entrance at Filer that they're installing off of Harrison Street. So that's what we've got right now on the books. These 2 will come in a similar fashion to those.
Okay, how does it affect the truancy court?
It doesn't. These
No.
have nothing to do with them.
Okay.
Merrillville Schools is already done.
Okay.
That grant has been done, and we've been sending that 400,000 to them.
Oh, you said 9 million.
Second
So you
year,
had mentioned
second year or
truancy
third year?
court.
That's one of the projects they identified.
Okay,
The Merrillville Schools, when we gave that to them last year.
okay.
Mr.
Actually-
President?
That's over with.
Mr.
right?
President,
2
members
years
of the
ago.
Commission?
2 years ago, we gave that.
Yeah. Mr. Griffin.
Yes, first, I want to introduce Bob Swintz, who's a partner with London Witty. He's a financial advisor for the Redevelopment and Economic Development Commissions.
Yeah, we
And I am
know.
Michael Griffin, the town manager
Okay.
of Merrillville. I have reviewed, he had prepared for me, and I believe for members of the commission, a statement of cash flows that he believes are conservative in their assumptions, but they do seem to satisfy the desires, if you want to move forward, of the commission, if it decides to move forward with these resolutions. And the only thing I was going to add is, Mr. President, one of the things I love about you is your enthusiasm and this incredible memory you have for every project you want to do. But every time you say that we'll probably re-up, I just always go, well, don't say that necessarily. That's just me. I love your heart for that, and probably you may, but I always feel like we should just wait and see what's going to happen first. That's
Okay.
just me. And I ordinarily wouldn't get up here like this because I am proud of our department head who does an excellent job, and I feel my job is to support all of them and kind of be out of the way, but I felt I had to come up here and say that, particularly with regard to the cash flows. And now I'll take my seat.
All right, thank you, Michael. Is, Leona or Margie, are there any other questions of Bob or Michael or Angie?
No, I think everything's in order.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved. I will make the motion for Resolution 24-07.
I will second.
Second? All right, motion by Mrs. Uzelak, seconded by Ms. Chandler Felton to approve Resolution 24-07. Is there any further discussion? Joe, all of these are voice votes tonight on the resolutions, correct? Or should we do roll call?
Roll call, please.
All right, roll call. Angie?
Councilwoman Chandler Felton,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hayes, Councilwoman Uzelak,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hardaway, Councilman Pettit.
Yes. Motion carries 3-0. Next item on the agenda, ladies, is Resolution 24-08 is a resolution of the Merrillville Redevelopment Commission approving a form of economic development agreement and related matters thereto, again, related to the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Northwest Indiana. Mr. Swentz.
Again, that's exactly what it is. It's just an agreement between the town of Merrillville and the Boys and Girls Club. I think there are currently some blanks in that agreement. So what will happen procedurally is the Economic Development Commission will pass a resolution to recommend the issuance of bonds. At that time, those blanks will have to be filled in with wage numbers and employees and such.
Bob, actually, ladies, I
Oh,
believe
is
in
it
our
in there?
packets, we have a draft of May 30th, 2024 Economic Development Agreement, which I believe Tom Pittman, our bond counsel from Barnes and Thornburg for the RDC, put together. Is that what you're referring to, Bob? We're going to have to slip that in? I don't know if you've seen these.
Yes. Mr. President, they absolutely need to be slipped in because they're in co-ate right now. Everything that Mr. Swintz told you, I'm affirming. One of the things in there will have to be approved by the council at some point because it does authorize, as one of the incentives, waiver of certain fees that are under the aegis or the sole jurisdiction of the council. So I'll have to talk to Mr. Svetnoff how we make that happen. But otherwise, because there's those kinds of elements, and we still need to get some details, both from the Economic Development Commission and from the beneficiaries of the incentives, we're satisfied that you can take the steps you're taking tonight and that they're going to be worked out. They're not substantive, they're just to identify the amounts, and those are being developed as you act.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Griffin. Let the record show that Counselor Commission Member Hardaway has joined us, so we now have 4. Keisha, for your benefit, the first resolution for the Boys and Girls Club, 2407, passed on a vote of 3-0. And we are now on Resolution 24-08, which is the Economic Development Agreement between the town of Merrillville and the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Northwest Indiana.
And just to let everybody know that myself, Tom Pittman, Bob Swentz, and Michael Griffin have all reviewed the resolutions and all feel that they are in order and ready to proceed. So this has been thoroughly vetted and reviewed.
Okay. Are there any questions of Michael or now Joe, Angie, or Bob? Seeing none, Chair will entertain a motion for Resolution 2408, and that was Mrs. Uzelak.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Hardaway. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Angie.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hayes Edwards, Councilwoman Uzelak,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hardaway,
Yes.
Councilman Pettit.
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. The next item on the agenda, ladies, is Resolution 24-09. Again, similar to the ones we did for Boys and Girls Club, this is a resolution of the Town of Merrillville Redevelopment Commission pledging certain increment revenues to the payment of economic development revenue bonds of the Town of Merrillville and approving related matters thereto. Again, this is, we had discussed this. This is the Andrean access bond, basically, to provide a secondary access to be determined by both Andrean and the Town of Merrillville's engineers primarily, I believe, Angie, we looked at 61st Avenue, if that's feasible. This is actually in Keisha's ward on the north side of 61st.
That is the location they're looking, yes.
Okay. Bob, anything? These are similar to the previous resolution, correct?
Exactly the same, except for the name.
Okay. Are there any questions of Bob? Keisha, this being in your ward, is there anything you have to, I mean, you're on one side of the street and I'm on the other, so.
So this is the incremental, so when we say incremental, it will be $100,000?
$100,000 for 10 years, correct.
Okay,
Yep, yep. So,
Motion to approve.
second,
motion by Mrs. Uzelak, seconded by Ms. Hardaway to approve Resolution 24-09. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Angie, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton,
aye.
Councilwoman Hayes Edwards, Councilwoman Uzelak,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hardaway,
Yes,
Councilman Pettit.
Yes, motion carries. The last resolution of the night, ladies, for this special meeting is Resolution 24-10, is a resolution of the Merrillville Redevelopment Commission approving a form of economic development agreement and related matters thereto. Again, similar to what we did with Boys and Girls Club, this is an agreement between the town of Merrillville and Andrean High School. As everyone is aware, they had submitted a commitment letter to remain at 5900 Broadway, or 5959.
59.
5959, with major improvements that will come from another donor on the physical side of the schools. And this is, again, for the access, where we will allocate $100,000 from the TIF draw. So if there are any questions of Bob or Angie or Michael, Joe, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And for the record, Angie, before you take a roll call, Commission Member Shauna Haynes Edwards has appeared for the record. Shauna, I don't know if you're ready. We're on the last resolution. If you're so inclined, if there are any questions, now's the time, ladies.
This is for the boys and girls.
This is for Andrean. We did the two boys and girls and the other Andrean. This will be the last one. Angie or Michael, anyone? Okay. Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second,
Motion by Ms. Uzelak, seconded by Ms. Hardaway to approve Resolution 24-10. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Angie, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton,
aye.
Councilwoman Hayes Edwards,
Aye.
Councilwoman Uzelak,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hardaway,
Yes,
Councilman Pettit.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. At this time on the special agenda, there are no other items. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
second,
Was it you or was it Shauna? It was Leona. All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That's it, Craig.